So I was going to make a joke that you all shouldn't worry that I'm going to ask you to give money again, but, well, yeah, I'm going to ask you to take your little donation cards and look for some of our volunteers, and please continue your amazing support for Met. Khaled Abu Toameh is an award-winning Israeli-Arab journalist, lecturer, and documentary filmmaker who has also been a producer and consultant for NBC News. He is a senior distinguished fellow at the Gatestone Institute and writes regularly for many news publications, including the Jerusalem Post and the Times of Israel. Khaled has produced several documentaries on the Palestinians, and he often speaks on the situation in Judea and Samaria and the Gaza Strip, and the prospects for peace in the Middle East at universities throughout the US, the UK, Canada, and Australia. Khaled is a staunch defender of freedom of speech and has criticized the Palestinian Authority for arresting and harassing Palestinian journalists in the West Bank. In the Durban Review Conference, Khaled criticized Israeli Arab Knesset members for supporting extremism and calling Israel, quote, a state of apartheid, rather than fighting for the rights of Arab citizens of Israel. Khaled says he is routinely subject to condemnations and is often threatened. He notes, however, that more threats are coming from outside the Middle East than from within the Palestinian Authority, and that those who threaten him, quote, roundly acknowledge that he is telling the truth and doesn't question his reporting, but want to, quote, shut him up. Sounds a bit like our current college campuses, if you ask me. Unfortunately, Khaled was not able to travel here from his home in Jerusalem, but he did ask me to read the following statement. First, I would like to apologize for not being able to attend the ceremony. I would like to thank you very much for the award. As you know, we live in a region and era where it's not easy to be a journalist, especially when you are covering a conflict like the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. In our part of the world, it's even more difficult for an Arab journalist to cover such a conflict, something I have been doing for more than 3 decades now. In our part of the world, an Arab journalist is expected to be loyal to his leaders, his government, and his cause. An Arab journalist is expected to, quote, toe the line and serve as a mouthpiece for his leaders and people. However, I chose to be different. I chose to be a journalist who does not ignore one side of the story. I chose to be balanced and fair in my reporting. Unlike most of my Arab colleagues, I chose to report on matters which I believe are crucial to the well-being of the Arabs. That's why I have dealt with issues that are still considered taboo in our part of the world, including corruption in the Palestinian government and anti-Israel incitement and indoctrination. I did not choose to do so to serve any agenda other than telling the truth. I have always asked myself, why is it okay to report about wrongdoing on the Israeli side while turning a blind eye to negative things that occur on the Palestinian side? I believe that an honest journalist is one who tells both sides of the story. That's the duty of any journalist covering a conflict. Unfortunately, many of my colleagues, including Western journalists, do not want to see any wrongdoing in the Palestinian Authority or Hamas. My decision to report on negative things happening on the Palestinian side has not come without a price. In fact, I have lost most of my work with mainstream media in the West for simply daring to think outside the box. But this has not affected my way of thinking or work, and I continue to believe that I'm doing a service not only to the profession of journalism, but also to the Palestinians themselves. No one is saying that the media needs to be pro-Israel or pro-Palestinian. All I'm saying is that we need to be pro the facts and the truth. This has been the major, amen. This has been the major theme of my work in the past 3 decades. Finally, what gives me the power to continue my work is the knowledge that there are people out there who appreciate what you do. So thank you again for this recognition, and hopefully together we can work towards achieving a better understanding of this conflict. Sincerely, Khaled Abu Toameh. On behalf of Khaled, a man who is not afraid to speak the truth, I am proud to accept this award as one of Emet's Rays of Light in the Darkness recipients this evening. Thank you all.